Hello, my name is Levi Mullins, and I did my watershed project on 12 Pole Watershed, focusing on Camp Creek and the right and left forks of the watershed. The 12 Pole Watershed is situated in southwestern West Virginia. The river itself is 32.2 miles long and is primarily located in Wayne County, but it also borders the counties of Cabell, Lincoln, and Mingo. 12 Pole drains into the Ohio River Basin. The drainage area for 12 Pole is approximately 442 square miles. Main uses for the surrounding land is for urban area and its small population of Wayne County. The biggest industry is coal mining at 6.27% of total land use. Close to 69% of the watershed is forested area, so most of it is just raw nature. The designated uses for 12 Pole is recreation, with having two of the biggest recreational lakes in western West Virginia for fishing, swimming, boating, camping, hiking, and all recreational activity in Beech Fork Lake on the borders of Cabell and Wayne County and Eastland Lake in Wayne County. Below is the water quality criteria for aluminum, iron, pH, and E. coli. These are the four water quality criteria they decided to use for the watershed. Below are the TMDLs for that are applicable. As of 2009, the 12 Pole watershed was listed as a 12 Pole was listed as a 303D stream. Both the right and left forks, as well as Campbell Creek, were all listed. As of 2012, East Lynn Reservoir, which is the base of the mainstream of 12 Pole, where the right and the left fork meet, was considered impaired for biological reasons. For the TMDL creation, they based them off of biological impairments for the stream. They also used previous mine load allocations established for the nearby mines and mine recreation or mine reclamation projects. Below is the endpoint of their data. They decided the total maximum daily load for iron would be 1.25 milligrams per liter. For dissolved aluminum, it was 0.7125 milligrams per liter. For pH, they had it set to 6.02. And for E. coli, they had it at 190 counts per 100 milliliters for monthly geometric mean and 380 counts over 100 milliliters for daily, with a 10% exceedance. To determine the TMDL, they took samples from Camp Creek, Left Fork, and Right Fork of 12 Pole, all of which are the main tributaries for the 12 Pole watershed. The samples for iron and aluminum were collected at the outflow of Camp Creek, while E. coli was established by taking the waste load allocation at the sewer treatment plants, which is 200 counts per 100 milliliters. For each separate TMDL, they had it divided by the sub-watersheds. So for Camp Creek, the TMDL for dissolved aluminum was 21.8, while in Left Fork it was 8.7, and for Right Fork it was 10.8. For Iron, it was 90.5 at Camp Creek, 44 at Left Fork, and 38.3 at Right Fork. For pH, it was a maximum 8.74, 8.1 at Left Fork, and 8.75 for Right Fork. Their plan was pretty straightforward. It was to simply follow the MPDS permitting to monitor the non-point pollution sources and the mine reclamation projects, and finally was to have the West Virginia DEP effectiveness monitor frequently. If in their theory, if all of this was done properly, then the TMDLs should meet their waste load allocations. For biological impairment, data was based off of the macroinvertebrate West Virginia Stream Index. There was significant impairment, and these were traced back to the pH toxicity, metals toxicity, and organic enrichment, and that is how they determined that they needed to do the TMDLs on aluminum, iron, pH, and E. Based on the data in table 4.1 seen below, they chose to do TMDLs for iron, aluminum, pH, and E. coli, as previously mentioned, because of the impairment to the tributaries. For each of the sub-watersheds, they decided that for Camp Creek, the TMDLs needed to be dissolved aluminum, pH, and total iron. For Left Fork, dissolved aluminum, pH, E. coli, and total iron. And for Right Fork, dissolved aluminum, total iron, and pH. Types of permits in the 12-pole watershed were consistent for rural areas. Overwhelmingly were sewage permits and for businesses and housing complexes. There were some for industrial businesses such as asphalt contractors. And at the time of 2009, when this document came out, the Wayne Lumber Company. There was at the time one active mining site off of Camp Creek, but none others were currently listed. There were 21 sewage permits, which are at high risk for organics, which they considered to simply be coli in the TMDL process, and 24 industrial permits, and one mining permit counted into the watershed, which the mining was the main source for the iron and the aluminum. No permits that I had searched for on the West Virginia DEP TIGS currently listed that any of the permits had violated their permit limits. And these are my sources. All right, thanks.